Hey there viewers, my name's Torinski and welcome back to another DCSS Sunday. Today we're of course jumping right back into the usual routine, trying to get a win with every species in the game, and where we last left off, we'd managed to finally get a pretty solid Meteoran run in the works here, taking care of our first couple of runes and ready to take on the rest of the dungeon, but we'll have to see how it goes, hopefully well. But you never know what the dungeon has in store, so without further ado, let's get ready to hop right back in as Antara's here and take a look at where exactly we left off. We have a decent number of turns left in the majority of areas, and we're definitely going to have to decide today which third rune we want to go for. I'm definitely not quite prepared for slime yet. Fortunately, we have enough turns in lair that I could probably just get the heck out of dodge for the time being, maybe finish off the rest of the regular dungeon, maybe head to vaults for a little bit, maybe even explore depths, and then start worrying about the third rune. Let's go with that, shall we? A nice little warm up in the regular old dungeon here. So let us just get the heck out of dodge, shall we? Why, hello there, my eel friend. Did not realize we left some friends behind here. Orc and Elf are also available. That's a great point. Yeah, we don't have many turns left in Orc, but probably enough to quickly clear some of the second floor. I believe we did already see where our Elf entrance was at the very least. The one thing that makes me hesitant about Elf is that at the moment here, we don't have the best resistances, if I remember correctly. We have good willpower, decent AC for a caster, but nothing else really going for us. One of our ring slots can be changed over to give us either fire or cold resistance. Right now we just have the ring of ice for cold resistance, so we will unfortunately have that fire vulnerability, which is not great. Guess let's start out by killing our eel friend. Couple hits. You were a resilient little buddy, you know that? But fantastic, and we can just get out of there real quick and start heading right back down through the dungeon here. And we'll just murder everything in our path while we do so. Fantastic. Oh, there we go. Now that's a target. For our lovely refrigeration here. Definitely enjoying the new fridge spell. It's nice not having to worry about the unavailability of potions. Of course, it's not quite as effective in big groups, but hey. It'll hopefully be enough to get us through where we need to here, and there we go. So our vault's entrance was down there. We're a pretty short hop, skip, and a jump from the stairs that we've already discovered, so let's just finish exploring over this direction and head on down. And now this is perfect, where enemies are spread out enough that we don't have to worry about the damage reduction on Fridge, and we can just murder them all, as Vehement offers us knowledge of Yar's violent unraveling. It takes some training to get there, and we don't have the spell levels for it either, but it would potentially be handy as we move into vaults, especially since with the convokers in there, you can just get rid of that status effect or that ability on the spot, I believe. A bit of a creative use of Yar's violent unraveling. So we'll potentially keep that in mind for the next wee bit here and see if that option becomes a good choice for us moving forward. We'll also pick up this potion of Lig that we're leaving behind here, just in case that does end up saving our life. I mean, the original ones that we had on us definitely did go a long ways to keeping us safe. And Roxanne. It would be really nice to get statue form. 182 damage, or health rather, and just so much damage. I mean, if we can safely just fire off some orbs of destruction, we're doing okay. Unfortunately, she will blink us close, which is a bit of a shame. How far can Fireball reach? Okay, we can't quite hit things outside of our range, even with Behemoth's health, unfortunately. This is where something like Fulminant Prism could potentially come in handy. You know what, let's leave you alone for the time being. I think it's rough because the first time you come into Roxanne's sight range is your moment where you actually have a free turn. Every other time we step in here, I'm guessing they're going to see us come in, and unfortunately that means potentially immediately getting blinked close. I guess the alternative to that is I fire off an Orb of Destruction and then get blinked right into its path and mix that with a Crystal Spear, and we're definitely not going to be feeling very well afterwards. So maybe we will leave you alone for the time being, my friend. And we'll try out Bridge early on once again here, especially since it will even hit our invisible friend there. And that is perfect. Definitely not too shabby. Ah, there's our depths entrance as well. So here's somewhere where Fridge is not exactly going to do a heck of a lot for us. We could potentially step up though and use Starburst to decent effect. Oh, interesting. Starburst bounces off of walls? Okay, I guess don't unleash the power of a star in a confined corridor. That makes a certain amount of sense, I guess, when you think about it. But okie dokie. In that case, let's Frozen Ramparts to potentially just try and kill this Necromancer as soon as we possibly can. Yeah, is it just the crystal walls, Rubbery, or is it everything? Because that makes sense, since, yeah, they do have interesting interactions with magic in general. Most notably with LRD, of course. And there we go, we finally do haste one of our enemies. Fortunately, it's just a skeleton, so not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. And there we go. Wow, crystal plate armor. How about that? I don't believe we'll be using that whatsoever this run, but it's definitely pretty neat to see. And interesting. Do we go with Fire Dragon Scales? We'd remove our poison resistance, but between this and the Ring of Cold, we could actually have at least 1 pip of resistance in both fire. Oh, no, that's not true. We'll have 1 pip in fire left. Cold will just cancel out to 0. AC goes up by 1. You know what? It's something that we may want to try out in the future, so I'll pick it up while we're hanging around here. There in back book once again here. Interesting to see. And the +1 scale of Indomitability. Interesting. So another source of willpower, which I guess would potentially free up another ring slot as well. We wouldn't have to be wearing this willpower ring. So that seems like another potential avenue for us to take in the future. Let's drop the whip that we're lugging around for no real reason whatsoever. And we'll grab that bad boy right there. And just keep exploring for the time being here. Oh gosh. It turned our enemy invisible. That is less than ideal. Oh, you're probably fairly cold resistant too, aren't you? As an Ice Devil, but there we go. We managed to take them down. No problem whatsoever. Lost a bit more health than we should have, don't get me wrong, but not the end of the world by any stretch. Crystal walls reflect fire and cold. Metal walls also absorb lightning. Oh, okay, that's very cool. Good to know for the crystal walls for sure, because I mainly just use them as fantastic carriers of LRD. But okie dokie, let's get back to it here. We can definitely afford to keep exploring a wee bit. I guess I can also take a peek at where our skills were sitting. I believe armor was on at the start. I saw the notification that this hit 10, so that's lovely. Ice magic training up. So this is potentially going to be high enough that we could think about Polar Vortex when Bahamut does eventually offer that to us. I don't think I've really cast that, definitely not on camera, since it switched over from Tornado. So that would definitely be a fun little experience and would allow us to have a good source of AoE. And in fact, if we can get that going, then I'd feel a lot more comfortable going into somewhere like Slime for the Royal Jelly in the 3rd rune. So I'll keep that in the back of my mind for the time being here. hopefully the game doesn't throw too many tricky situations at us, because I'm definitely not feeling 100% mentally here today. But we'll give it our best go, shall we, and see how things turn out. Okay, another ring, hopefully cold resistance, or ring of fire, that works too. I think I'll be leaving you by the wayside here. And man, Auto Explorer definitely throws a lot of turns away. I don't know if we'll bother too much getting to the center of this spiral. It probably has some strong monsters, which could be nice for the experience, especially since we're still very much lacking in all of our attributes thanks to our run-ins with the ghost moths last week. So I'd like to see those return to a bit more of a normal state for sure, but ideally not in a way where we have to risk life and limb just to achieve our goals. So with that in mind, let's head back on down here and see what awaits us. So I'm seeing some fancy tiles in here, so I don't know if there is some kind of special vault, maybe an altar of sorts. Let's check it out. It was indeed an altar. Hello, Zin. Hello, my angel friend. Nice to see you. And okie dokie. With that finished up, I think we're looking pretty good on regular dungeons, so where do we wish to go now? Do we want to head into Orc, see how well we fare, maybe even moving on to Elf? Or do I head straight for Vaults instead? I guess Vaults can probably at least take a peek, see how it goes. I mean, every option that we have available before us now is going to have issues with the severe lack of resistances across the board, so I think that's just our life now, and we're gonna have to learn to live with it one way or another. But you know what, the entrance to Vaults is on our way up, so might as well check it out, take a peek, and see how things are looking, see how things are feeling in that regard. And we did take a peek at our skills, but I kind of forgot to actually decide if we wanted to start training anything else. I mean, evocations is always nice. We've gone stupidly lucky so far with our condenser vein in terms of which clouds have shown up with only 7 training, but we could try to make that a little more consistent in the future. Alternatively, shields is another option. I mean, I must have left a normal shield somewhere around, hey? Here's a buckler in Swamp 3, no shot. Can I get there and back again in 120 turns? I believe that's all we had left in Swamp when we were just taking a peek at it there. Kite shield in D6 is going to be a lot of turns wasted. Not the end of the world, we have a lot of regular dungeon turns available. And the tower shield is just a long time to get up and running, to get training. So, I think what I will do before heading into Vaults is I don't expect to see too many poison monsters, so let's take a peek at our failure rates in the heavier armor. They're not exactly ideal, so I may have to backtrack on my thoughts there and immediately change back into our dragon scales, and we'll just hope that we don't run into fire and ice at the same time. And let's see how it goes, shall we? Okie dokie, brand new area, new vaults, new me. Immediately miscast our first foray, but that's not the end of the world. Let's try to take care of some of these elephants the only way we know how. Well, let's take you upstairs, or not. You won't come with me? That's fine too, I guess. I was hoping to just face off against one dire elephant so we could get a bit of an idea of just what we can expect from that fight. I mean, we don't have the best AC. If we peek back down here real quick, 40 damage and 15. The 15 is likely not to do too much work whatsoever, but 40 damage with 19 AC, 112 health. Oof. I mean, it would have been nice if we high rolled just a smidge better on the Orbs of Destruction, because 3 Orbs of Destruction taking out 1 dire elephant is not the best track record, especially when they have the potential to do 90-11. Do I dare even stepping down? I guess we can bring them back up once more, or get pushed off the stairs. That's fair enough. I guess one thing I should have done before even thinking about coming back down is probably replenish some of my mana points. Whoopsie daisies. Well, too little too late now, so let's instead... You know, I was kind of hoping all of you would follow me in my ring around the rosy move. Because now if I try to step around you, we're going to have multiple turns where two of these buddies are hitting me at the same time. Not great. Less than ideal, I think is fair enough to say. Oh, especially when our Orb of Destruction has a bit of a rough go at it there. Well, that's fine. We can attack you until you Kiddlywinks push me back, and then now I should be safe to head upstairs at least. Take a bit of damage in the process, but not too shabby. Oh. A mighted dire elephant? Now that is very scary. Gosh darn it, Mace of Chaos. You know, it works until it doesn't. So let's see, we could use a Fear Scroll to get ourselves just disengaged from this encounter completely here. Let's, I guess first things first, take the hands off the keyboard for a moment. Rubbery, redeem the hydrate just to try and keep us alive here so I don't do anything too stupid as I'm just moving quickly and thoughtlessly. So it's between butterflies and fear for a nice, easy escape option here. I'm trying to think of which of those I'll want for the future. I mean, butterflies were so crucial to us staying alive in our spider 4th floor that I almost want to keep some of them around. So let's start with fear. Of course, it does not work on our mighted friend. Perfect. So, you know, maybe Butterfly was the better option. Yeah, especially with their magic resistance being in the spot that it is. But oh well, we will just walk away from that encounter for the time being and maybe rethink our decisions in life, or if we even want to bother with Vault. In the meantime, gonna do some exploration just to quickly heal ourselves back up to full. Fantastic. And do I want to just head to a different stairwell? They have the same will as ghost moths? Holy moly. Dang, dire elephants, you live like this? Well, that is good to note for the future. Definitely could teach us to be a little more cautious of which tools we have at our disposal for those encounters. But see, there we go. That is much, much better. And then we'll hopefully not run into a wall with our Orbs of Destruction. Not too shabby. And fantastic. So we were able to take out those two. Does mean that we're going to be, yeah, in slightly rough shape for vaults here. I mean, it is nice to get some experience. We've also used up a lot of turns. Okay, train and lots of poison on our friend here. Fantastic. And we'll just keep exploring, and hopefully that's the scariest thing we encounter, though I have a sneaking suspicion that will unfortunately not be the case. Okay, I thought I miscast Frozen Ramparts, but I actually just accidentally cast Ozkubu's Armor instead. Still very happy to be using it, of course. Little bit of extra defensive capability to help us get through each of these encounters here. In fact, we go up to 27 AC. Okay, that's huge. I mean, part of the issue with the dire elephants is that they were unfortunately not quite as susceptible to us using that, or not quite as willing to let us because of their pushback effect. And now, I do not like this Convoker being in this position. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's a lot I can do about it. Could just blast a fireball right ahead here, but I don't think that that's a great option. Oh gosh, now we've hasted our other friend. 50% chance to get you on our side though. I'll take it. Now we have a hasted preserver. Oh, that's going to be a lot of cold damage coming our way, so let's definitely switch over to the ice ring here, and potentially even fire back. You are resistant to cold, unfortunately, my friend, but let's take some steps, shall we? And if you could follow me for a moment. Okay, that's rough. Unfortunately, our hasted friend did not last very long at the end of the day there, but definitely not the end of the world regardless. I would like to just face some of you at a time here, if at all possible. In fact, this seems like a decent opportunity. Well, let's just go straight into orbs, maybe one refridge. And I guess while we're out in the open, we should definitely be able to take you no problem. A little bit closer than I would like, but not too shabby at the end of the day. I guess I didn't check, when we lose that 6 intelligence, how bad are we looking? Okay, no, definitely not too shabby in terms of failure rates. It's not the end of the world, so don't have to worry too much about that in the future. I mean, the Convoker is still alive somewhere here, if I had to guess, but maybe we'll just ignore them for the time being, keep exploring new territory just to get some nice heals off, and take any stairwell we see, at least take a peek. Take a look and see how things are feeling down there. Fantastic. 1,000 turns, hey? I mean, fortunately with Vaults, since I'm not very likely to be going with Vaults 5 as our 3rd rune, I don't have to worry too much about turn count. Worst comes to worst, I just have to stop exploring here and head a different direction, which, again, is not too much of a price to pay. Okay, you, my friend, are going to be kind of painful. Let's bring you out into the open air here. Maybe? Hello? Hello, my friend? What? Okay, there we go. Basically just want to be able to throw some orbs of destruction their way, and then we'll have no problems whatsoever. Fantastic. And right, I always forget that the Peacekeeper usually comes along with our lovely golem friends. Hey, boss level, how's it going? And for the first time in a long time, it feels like we don't have to be too scared of Sentinel's Mark as well, so that should be just fantastic. And we can take care of our lovely friends here, no problem. Beautiful. Slowly but surely regaining all of our stats as well. Definitely can't be too upset about that. If you could come this way, my friend. What are the odds that I get to you without hitting a wall? There's only one kind of danger zone. Oh gosh, or we could miss. That, I guess, is always a possibility as well. Okay, this went downhill very fast. I believe I can take a step down. That should get you out of sight. Oh me, oh my. I would bring in butterflies, but they're slightly evasive. I guess we'd probably get a few bodies between us and them at the very least. But I think I can move down safely. And fortunately, Yaktars are, unlike centaurs rather, are not fast, so we're able to just walk away from our problems and not worry too much about them when they're at the edge of our vision range like that. Slightly terrifying, of course, but nothing we can't handle. And, you know, with regen, we actually got a decent amount of healing in while we were at it. So let's just finish you off while we have the opportunity here. Fantastic. Oh me, oh my. Oh, to be constantly underleveled. The life of a Meteoran here. So you, my friend, Holy Wrath and just the +2 longsword shouldn't be too bad for us to deal with. Especially when I can get some extra offensive ability out there. And let's switch over to Starburst to just try and take care of all of you sons of guns as quickly as we possibly can. And that's not too shabby there. Fantastic. Okay. Oh gosh. We've accidentally hasted our friend here, and they're in the middle of invoking, I don't believe I can kill them fast enough. Like, maybe if I lucked out with the Chaos Brand and silenced them, but there is no real guarantee that things will go our direction in that regard. Oh me oh my. What? Oh, mighted and hasted, and our retreat is now blocked off. Well, that's a fun combination for sure. Ooh, but a blink scroll. Would you look at that? So let's take a peek here. If I wanted to bring you to my side, 50% is pretty solid. And they are in fact charmed immediately, so that is wonderful. Okay, never mind, they're dead. You know, they did their best out there. Oh, inventory's full. Oof, oof. Well, do I go back to potentially trying to fight this temporarily? Let's open the door just in case we do have to make a quick escape. And you know what? Unfortunately, that door being broken does mean that we're slightly more in danger. Oh, and I guess Call Down Lightning is smite targeted, so that's less than ideal. So, you know what? Let's play this one slightly safe. Bring out the fear. And just stare at them, taunt them through the glass wall, and get the heck out of Dodge, shall we? Again, we're kind of leaving ourselves in a bit of a precarious situation for if and when we do want to come back down here, but that's probably still slightly more ideal than dying in embarrassing fashion. So with that in mind, let's prepare for the worst here. Now I really just want to kill this troll at the very least. Yeah, okay, that was slightly dumb of me, but here we are. How much damage do you do, my friend? 27 and 20 twice. Yishka. Are we winning? I guess we'll find out in the next, like, minute or so here. I don't really have many options that are guaranteed to outright murder you. If I want to keep burning through all my resources, I guess I could go with a Scroll of Fear again. Oh, bad decisions were made. Again, not in top form mentally today by any stretch of the imagination, and that is readily apparent in our abilities here. I mean, chances are that you'd die to Quicksilver, I believe. If we take a peek here at the damage, 66. I mean, I guess if it low rolled, there's a chance that we just die, so that's not great. I'm trying to think of what the odds are that Fear wouldn't work on you. Of course, another option is that we use our Ozkubu's armor to give us 27 AC, so there's at least a chance that we take 0, but probably not worth the investment there. So do you know what, let's just play it safe. I'm gonna go for another Fear. And then with that, we're in a much better place to, I don't know, is it even worth it to ping you with fire? Probably not so much, so let's just take a bit of a stroll here. We'll regenerate enough magic to potentially do some of the heavy lifting. Trying to watch the map and make sure that I'm not going into anything too dangerous on the flip side here. You can't keep hydrated at this rate of scary situations. I'm sorry, Rubber. I'll do my best to try and slow down a little bit in that regard, for my sake, more than anything else. There we go. Fantastic. And there we go. Colgate also bringing in the stretch. By your powers combined, you can maybe keep me from getting myself into too many stupid situations. Oh man. Fear should always work. Does it? Yeah, against just 1 pip willpower enemies like that. I know it's like, if anything, if it's not 100%, it would still be, you know, in the 90s. But I'm always concerned because anything that even has the slightest chance of failing, in my experience, oftentimes will go awry in that worst possible moment, as we saw there.